The African wildcat, also called Near Eastern wildcat, is a wildcat subspecies that lives in Africa and around the periphery of the Arabian Peninsula. The status least concern on the IUCN Red List is attributed to the species, including all subspecies of wildcats. The African wildcat appears to have diverged from the other subspecies about 131,000 years ago. Some individual African wildcats were first domesticated about 10,000 years ago in the Middle East, and are the ancestors of the domestic cat. Remains of domesticated cats were found in human burials in Cyprus that are estimated to have been established by Neolithic farmers about 9,500 years ago. Crossings between domestic cats and African wildcats are still common today. Characteristics: the fur color of the African wildcat is light sandy gray, and sometimes with a pale yellow or reddish hue. The ears are reddish to gray, with long light yellow hairs around the pinna. Stripes around the face are dark ochre to black, 2 are running horizontally on the cheek, and 4 to 6 across the throat. A dark stripe is running along the back, the flanks are lighter, and the belly is whitish. Pale vertical stripes on the sides often dissolve into spots. 2 dark rings are on the forelegs, and hind legs are striped. The feet are dark brown to black. Pocock described the African wildcat as differing from the European wildcat by inconspicuous stripes on the nape and shoulders, a less sharply defined stripe on the spinal area, and by the slender tail, which is cylindrical, less bushy and more tapering. Ears are normally tipped with a small tuft. Skins of male wildcats from northern Africa measured 47 euro 59.7 cm in head-to-body length with a 26.7 euro 36.8 cm long tail. Skins of female wildcats measured 40.6 euro 55.8 cm with a 24.1 euro 33.7 cm long tail. Male wildcats from Yemen measured 46 euro 57 cm in head-to-body length with a 25 euro 32 cm long tail. Females were slightly smaller, measuring 50 euro 51 cm in head-to-body length with a 25 euro 28 cm long tail. Both females and males ranged in weight from 3.2 to 4.5 kilograms. The fur is shorter than of the European wildcat, and it is considerably smaller. Distribution and habitat: African wildcats occur across Africa and around the periphery of the Arabian Peninsula to the Caspian Sea. They are found from Morocco through Algeria, Tunisia, Libya and into Egypt, and inhabit the savannas of West Africa from Mauritania to the Horn of Africa, including Somalia, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Djibouti and Sudan, southwards to South Africa. They inhabit a broad variety of habitats, especially in hilly and mountainous landscapes such as the Hoggar. But in deserts such as the Sahara they occur at much lower densities. Much better adapted to desert habitats are sandcats. The wildcats in Sardinia were long considered a subspecies of the African wildcat. But results of zooarchaeological research indicate that they descended from domestic cats introduced about 2,000 years ago from the Near East or Sub-Sahara. The population on Corsica also descended from introduced domestic cats and is considered feral. The wildcats on the island of Sicily are considered European wildcats. Ecology and behaviour: African wildcats are active mainly by night and search for prey. Their hearing is so fine that they can locate prey precisely. They approach prey by patiently crawling forward and using vegetation to hide. They rarely drink water. They hunt primarily mice, rats, birds, reptiles, and insects. When confronted, the African wildcat raises its hair to make itself seem larger in order to intimidate its opponent. In the daytime it usually hides in the bushes, although it is sometimes active on dark, cloudy days. The territory of a male overlaps with that of up to 3 females. Reproduction: female give birth to 1 to 3 kittens, mostly during the warm wet season. The African wildcat often rests and gives birth in burrows or hollows in the ground. The gestation lasts between 56 and 69 days. The kittens are born blind and need the full care of the mother. They stay with their mother for 5 to 6 months and are fertile after 6 months. Evolution: based on a mitochondrial DNA study of 979 domestic and wild cats from Europe, Asia, and Africa. The African wildcat is thought to have split off from the European wildcat about 173,000 years ago, and from the Asiatic wildcat and the Southern African wildcat fs. Calfra about 131,000 years ago. About 10,000 years ago, some individual African wildcats were tamed in the Middle East and are the ancestors of the domestic cat. Modern domestic cats are derived from at least 5 mitochondrial leaves. The African wildcat easily interbreeds with feral domestic cats. Conservation: Felis sylvestris is included on CITES Appendix 2. Alley Cat Rescue is currently the only organization known to have a program specifically aimed at conserving African wildcats and reducing what some refer to as genetic pollution by domestic cats. In philately, the Libyan Posts, in cooperation with Worldwide Fund for Nature, dedicated a postage stamp issue to Felis libica on November 1, 1997. The issue was also released as a set of 4 stamps printed on a monosheet. References. External links: IUCN SSC Cat Specialist Group, a Euro-African wildcat.